Welcome, Noreen.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Here we are in another exciting episode of the Fempreneur podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about boosting the energy in your business. Noreen is the expert in that. She also has a really wonderful free gift she's going to share with you. The link to get that free gift is in the show notes. All right, take it away, Noreen. Tell us a bit about your business and how you discovered these energy boosting tips and tricks.
Yeah, so many people know, but lots of people don't know. I spent 30 years in corporate Canada, and in my career, I used a lot of, data and metrics and math and really my brain around making decisions and how to deal with things in my business, in my career. When I became an entrepreneur, I discovered that that really didn't work as well for me. That I really needed to spend more time with my feelings, and what was going on inside of me would really impact the success and the achievement that I had in my business. And so I've always been a big believer in, the fact that we have a spiritual side of ourselves. We, of course, have our mental, emotional, and our physical bodies, but we also have energy bodies inside of us. And many of us know them as the chakras. And I've done a lot of work over the years with my own chakras personally. And as I was saying, becoming an entrepreneur, I'm like, this really relates. Like how I show up as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, if I am off or, not overly healthy, or there's some imbalances or some blockages in my chakras, that shows up in my business. And so that was a really powerful aha for me. So, yeah,
Yes, and
that's
we
how I
also
came to it.
have a link to this beautiful and very, very helpful book in the show notes. Noreen's book called The Unexpected Entrepreneur. Now you're here, make a difference while making a living, which is just like so full of so much goodness and so many tools and tricks and tips and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, yeah, you were unexpectedly thrown into this entrepreneurial world. And since then, you've discovered not only the tactical ways of doing things, in an efficient and effective way, but
Yeah.
also, like we're going to be talking about today, the energy. Will you tell us about the free gift you have for our listeners and viewers?
Yes, absolutely. So I put together a free gift called Balancing Your Business Energy, a guide to using the ancient wisdom of chakras. Now, this is for specifically for businesses. So, we know that many of us are familiar, right, with paying attention to our physical health and our mental health, but the health of our business is also really important. And so what this guide will give you is it will help you explore this concept of chakras and energy in your business, and it will help you also gauge the health of your business. So there's some really good questions that will help you consider whether in a particular area your business is balanced or unbalanced. Um, and without judgment, like, we're all works in progress. We also, it's not out of a place of sort of you're wrong or right, or, or judgment. And so one of the questions that I ask, and I ask this of my clients as well, is like, are you getting the results that you want in your business?
Hmm.
And if the answer is yes, in many ways, no, in some ways, okay, if it's no, then why is that? What challenges are you experiencing, and can we get to the root cause of maybe some of those challenges? And that's where this tool will really help identify any imbalance that might need some attention and some action today. And so there is a chakra health check, and it goes through all of the seven main chakras. I mean, there's many, many more, but the seven main ones are what most people are familiar with. And the chakra health check shows what a typical, very balanced business energy would look like, and how that's expressed in, in reality, and how we communicate, and our vision, and what our employees and our clients are saying and feeling about us as a business. And then it also paints a bit of a picture on what an unbalanced chakra in your business might look like. And
Mhm.
so you can take a look at that health check and see, yeah, I feel pretty balanced, like in the, let's say, in the crown chakra, the top chakra. I have a strategic vision. I'm really innovating. I'm inspiring other people. That would be a real balanced picture. A more unbalanced picture would be, you don't have much of a strategic vision. You're really kind of just, floating around, or you're not sure. There's maybe low morale and trust within your team, maybe high turnover. So,
Mhm.
with each of the chakras, I give some of those examples. And then I also give some practices that really relate to each chakra. So, like for the crown chakra, you can engage in some spiritual practices like prayer or visualization, to boost your inspiration, your creativity, your vision. So I give some examples of what you can actually then do to help unblock or balance that chakra, as well as affirmations. I mean, there's physical things we can do, there's meditation, there's all kinds of things we can do, but affirmations are also really, really powerful to
Mhm.
change our subconscious, and to have that message going inside of us, um, to then balance that chakra. So it's a great, great tool. It's chocked full. I think it's like 6 pages long. So there's lots of great information. And it really has a massive impact to help with results in your business.
Okay, I wanna share a bit of a story, not a bit of a story,
Oh dear.
a real story about this, a recent story. You were there.
Uh-huh.
So when we were in Mexico, Noreen and I were at the Fempreneurs Retreat together in Playa del Carmen, and Noreen, invited a friend of hers, maybe we could call him a mentor as well, an energy worker named Saria.
Yeah.
I had him on the podcast recently, a couple episodes ago. And he did one-on-one sessions with us because Noreen gifted these one-on-one sessions to myself and the other ladies at the retreat, which was an amazing experience for me. So I wanted to share this story to give you all a practical example of how this has just a tiny little tweak and a tiny little discovery that was given to me by someone who was kind of looking. He has this gift, right? That he can kind of look at you and be like,
Yeah.
oh, that, oh, that, try this. And so so the sacral chakra, which is your sexuality and creativity, um, he talked a lot about the masculine and feminine. We won't get into that because I also don't really fully understand it. But he did say that my sacral chakra, which is where he would normally see a lot of ideas and like things yet to be created in people, mine was like empty. There was like little cobwebs in there. It was like nothing in there because I'm one of those people that has an idea and I just get it out there. So he commented on that, and he tied that into why my business is going well. And what I do for my clients is I really do help them stop overthinking things. I help entrepreneurs like get their ideas out there. I help them bring them out into the world, because that's what I do
Yeah.
really well. It's just how I'm made, right? It's just how my energy, I guess, works. And then I've recently been doing some writing around why I think that is, and things tying back to my childhood and the way I was raised and the things that I saw. Um, so just that one little discovery, just that one little, um, I guess, just investment of time and energy going inward, which we don't do often enough, especially as women. We don't spend time to be like, how do I feel about that? Why do I think that? Where did that idea come from? What do I want? Like, we don't do that stuff often enough. So, Noreen gifted us with this incredible experience, which then had this effect on just the energy of the trip. And the conversations were different and more rich and more deep. And it was really cool. So, there's an example of how the chakras really do affect your business, and how you work with your clients and how you feel about your business is so important. It really did help me feel more excited about my business, because I was sharing with you guys when we first got to Mexico that I was feeling a little bit like wah, 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 like a
Yeah.
little bit bored,
Yeah.
and not because it's boring work that I do, but I think it just there's this grind and constant hard work feeling that we go through in our businesses as we're maybe growing them in the first 3 to 5 years. And I've just recently come out of that, and I was kind of like, oh, everything's so systematized and so
Yeah.
easy. And I was almost a little bit bored with that. But then I was labeling it a certain
Yeah.
way, right? And
Yeah.
so this whole spiritual journey that well, that I've started on, and I'm not saying that I've had it, like just started on it. It's starting to awaken within me this different energy, this energy shift around where I'm supposed to go in the next chapter of my
Mhm.
business. And
Mhm.
I'm really excited about that now. Whereas before I was labeling it as like boring and I'm going to keep doing the same
Yeah.
things over and over and over again. Not the case at all. So this whole energy in your business thing, it's real. And I really want all of you listening and watching to have the energy boost that Noreen and I are talking about, and use the tool that Noreen is gifting you for free,
Yeah.
and yeah, and search out other ways to, to discover what's next in your
Mhm.
business. Getting around other female entrepreneurs, for example, specifically ones that are uplifting and energetic and excited about their business, not the ones that are like always complaining and being negative Nancy's, for example.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else to add to my big rant
Yeah,
there?
I just wanted to say that, we are our businesses. And so, we can't separate like who we are and maybe some of our own internal struggles and the things that are showing up in our life. They will show up in our business. And if we're really honest with ourselves, we can use this tool to help uncover some blind spots, some things where we didn't realize that, how I'm showing up in my business because of what's going on energetically inside of me, is why I'm maybe struggling financially or with a very limiting belief in this way, or I have a hard time communicating. So we may not always be aware that these things are going on. So this tool will help identify potentially some blind spots. It may also open up, some ideas around, oh, I'm doing pretty good over here, but maybe I really want to improve on this part of my business and so on. And as we focus on ourselves internally, our own health, in all of our levels, our businesses automatically, those people that when they're healthy, they're taking care of themselves, they're stable, they're great to be around. Well, they generally, whatever they put their effort and their passions into, those mirror, how they show up in the world. And so this really is a great tool for this. Like I use a version of this. Got a dog hair in my lip gloss. Never mind. Oh, the joy of having a dog. Um, so I use a version of this tool. I actually use it in the form of a wheel, and we look at each of the 7 sections and rate, how they feel. I just did this with a big client who just sold a big restaurant chain. He doesn't have to work the rest of his life, but he's really looking at what he wants to do for the rest of his life, and he knows he's got some imbalances, and this was so insightful for him on where he wants to move forward next. So you can use this tool in lots of different ways. You can even use it when you're putting goals together, because it would really help inform, okay, if I have some, ineffective communication practices, or I don't do team building, or, I don't have a really good strategy, vision, or goals, then it can help you inform some real good tactics or actions that you can do in your business. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's an amazing tool. I use it all the time, and it's probably one of the most profound parts of of what I use with clients, because it gets them
Okay.
in touch with what's inside and what's really going on. You know, the mind stuff, the decisions, the data, the ROI, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, that's important, but you don't
Mhm.
really connect with it. This
Yeah.
you connect with, and it
Yeah.
improves everything about you, not just your business, but in your life.
Yeah, and we're all emotional beings, and I think we do as business owners get really focused on the data, like you said. We get focused on the numbers. We get too focused on, and this is something Surya said in our session, and he was, like, laughing after he said it because he said it and then it rhymed, and then we were like, "Ha ha, you're a poet, didn't know it." But he said, "Less how, more allow."
Mm,
And he picked up on that right away. He said, "Your this chakra, whatever this one is."
the third
Your
eye, the
Yeah, he's like, "You need to
ajna.
open
Mm,
more.
mm,
You tend to keep that very closed." And I'm like, "Interesting."
uh-huh.
So, I just got off a call before we hopped on this podcast interview with a fempreneur who bought my video marketing course a little while ago, and one of the free gifts I give with that marketing course, because it's online only, is a one-on-one with me. So we just had that. She came into the session and she was super frustrated, and she was really just feeling like she was trying all these different things and nothing was working, and she was like, you could just like hear this anxiety in
Yeah,
her voice and
yeah,
see it in her body language. And so I was telling her a bit about, my session with Surya and the less how, more allow, because we, I think in business too, will start down a path of maybe a new marketing strategy, and we'll be like, "Hey, I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to do all the things in the right order at the right times of the day, and I'm going to stick to the plan." And we don't feel like we're getting anywhere. We don't feel like it's moving us forward. So we get impatient, we get mad, and her and I have this in common. We both are like super impatient people. So I'm like, I feel you, I get you. And one thing um, that I'm trying to do more of, and this was the only thing that saved my ass back when I was kind of in the stage that she's at a few years ago, was I had to just trust.
yeah,
I had to have faith that this was the path I'm supposed to be on. And I don't need to know what the path is going to look like a week or two or a month from now. I just need to trust that I'm doing the right things and that I'm on the right path, and that some of it isn't going to work. And the reason I'm meant to learn that stuff that doesn't work is so I can take that knowledge out and help
yeah,
others, right? So sometimes we do things in our businesses that we think are right, and then we realize later, oh, that was a waste of time. Well, you learn that lesson not just for yourself, like you learn that lesson to help others avoid that
yeah,
pitfall. So energetically, we're supposed to experience things that are a bit clunky and feel a bit weird sometimes. It doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It doesn't mean that you should just throw everything in the garbage and start a new business or go
no,
get a job. Like, chill the F out and just less how, more allow.
yeah, exactly.
That's a new thing for
I
me.
love it, Lindsay. I love it.
Well,
And
that's from Surya.
if you and you have the free gift, but the third eye, the ajna chakra, one of the practices, the chakra practices that I recommend for the third eye is to engage in mindfulness practices like meditation, deep breathing to activate that chakra. And it also enhances your focus and concentration for increased productivity. But
Okay.
mindfulness, in its essence, is being present, being in this moment. What is this moment? Not worried about the future, not projecting and not looking back, is really being rooted in today, the present moment. And yeah, so if you look through sort of the practices, like for instance, you were talking about the sacral, and this is a lot of this you'll resonate with. It says, we should engage in more creative practices like journaling or drawing to activate the sacral chakra, and that really enhances creativity and inspiration. So not only do we find sort of where our strengths are in this, because I know, like my heart chakra is always really open. I'm always full of gratitude, compassion. But sometimes, like my solar plexus, which is like self care, positive affirmations, my confidence, I need to work on. I'm unbalanced in that way. So I see where I'm doing really well and where I've got my strengths and my weaknesses. So yeah, it's just creating that awareness around that is so powerful. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and working with someone who can really see things in you that you can't see, like, that's huge. I do feel like I have a bit of a gift for doing that with others, but I definitely need people in my world who are gonna be like, "Hey, this is something I'm seeing in you."
Yeah.
And there are those people that have that woo-woo gift. I have a couple clients right now that have the woo-woo gift, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yay!" And now Saria and I are connected, and we're, planning on getting together on a regular basis,
Yay.
so I'm really pumped about having more of that, um, just the energy piece in my business and the awareness of the energy piece, the different pieces, obviously, through all the different chakras. And for me to be able to learn more about that, that just means I'm going to have more to offer my clients, which I'm pumped about because the more knowledge that I have that's helpful for me that I can share with them, like the lady today, just some of the things that I was explaining to her, like by the end of the call, she was just like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so much better." And I was like, "Good."
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that you feel better and that um, you have the intention now to be more trusting that you're on the right path and to be more patient and to focus on allowing things to come into your life instead of always, and I'm very analytical too, so I was like, I get it. We always want to know how, and how's that going to work
Yeah.
and how's that going to turn out and who's going to come to my rescue if I have a problem. Like we feel like we need to know these answers to things and we don't.
Yeah.
We really don't because and I mean, I have faith in God, and that's one thing Surya said lots. He's like, "Yeah, God is working through you all the time. Like his hands are your hands.
Yeah.
Like you are 100% being led." Like, because I often look back on some of the things that I've done and the ideas I've had, and I'm like, I don't know where any of that came from.
Yeah.
Like, I do feel like just,
Yeah. You were
I'm like this
channeling
robot.
that for sure. That
Yeah,
was, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it was really interesting. But
But I,
I do go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say just that both can be true. Like both for me are true. I am very practical. I'm very
Mhm.
action orientated. I mean, I teach people productivity, efficiency. Like I'm very much that way. But also I believe in the energy and in the spiritual realms.
Mhm.
I believe that when we speak something out loud and say, I have this dream and I want to build this business, that, the universe, God, whoever you believe in, is listening and says, I'm going to help you on these realms that we can't see. And so, it's not one or the other, it's both at the same time. Both exist at the same time. And if you can tap into both at the same time, that's, I think, where real success and freedom and satisfaction and
Mhm.
service, that's where that really, really comes into its full power, because, I'm then not in the way. My crap, my traumas, my whatever is putting me out of balance is no longer in the way of my business, truly making the impact in the world that it has been designed and created to make. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that because that's a really important point. I was just actually jotting down maybe a title for this episode that has something to do with that because I don't want people to see the title of this episode and think, "Oh, woo-woo business building." All right. Like, because that's what honestly what I've always shied away from this stuff because I'm like, I know I need to do the things or I'm not going to get where I want to be. But that's not 100% true. You do have to blend the spiritual in there, and it's already in there. It's already happening whether you recognize it or
Right.
not, which I now recognize. But you do, like you said, you can't just be like, okay, God, make all of my emails wonderful and send them out
Yeah.
through MailChimp
No.
today while I lay on the floor and meditate. Like, you still have to do shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But you
yeah.
can meditate before you do it.
Well, I wanted you to run us through your typical morning routine.
Okay. So my morning routine is really simple. Because I wake up early. I don't have a lot of time. Clients usually start early. I have a lot on the go, but try to drink. Well, I do drink 2 cups of water first, and
Mm.
then the very next thing I do is, yeah, good for you. The very next thing I do is I meditate, and I either do a chakra meditation, I do it's called a Hopono. I can never say it. It's a Hawaiian word. Google it, and it's incredible. It's really powerful for self-healing and healing and forgiveness. So I do some kind of meditation for, however much time I have, hopefully between 20 and 30 minutes, but sometimes only 5 or 10. And then I carry on with my morning. But that is those two things, water first thing and meditation. I don't pick up my phone. I don't go grab a cup of coffee. Those are the two things that I do for sure every single morning. And meditation is a game changer. Like if you're not a meditator and you think, oh, this is just kind of weird woo-woo stuff. Oh no, this is powerful, transformative, like focus on your health and, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. Find a meditation practice that you love. It could be guided meditation. There's chakra meditations all over YouTube. Like it is a very powerful practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So we've talked about tapping into both the spiritual realm and the practical productivity. Oh, so one thing that I want to do, and I'm saying this out loud for accountability, is at our YYC Fempreneurs event on February 22nd, I want to record each of our talks and put them on the podcast as like 4 separate
Mm.
episodes. So I believe I have the technology sorted out for that. And so, yeah, if you if you just heard me say that, and it's after February 22nd, maybe look at some of the latest episodes to see if Noreen's talk is on there. So you're going to be leading into more that practical
Yeah.
productivity side with the talk. Tell us what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah, so mine is called Time Thieves, the 7 habits that you are probably doing today that are sucking your time away. And so I'm going to go into the 7 things that I see my clients doing over and over and over again that are stealing their precious time. And they're easy to either mind shift or make, little tweaks to change, but it makes a big impact on the time that we spend every day, doing things that we don't need to do.
Can you give us like just a sneak peek of the
Sure. The very first one, and this is kind of a no-brainer, but it shocks me how many people still do it, is multitasking. Yeah. And I go into why multitasking doesn't work. I'll go into like this little exercise. I actually do a little exercise which shows people how bad multitasking actually is. And then I will always give alternatives as far as how to work instead of multitasking. So that is one of them. But the other 6, you'll just have to come to the event and find
Yes.
out.
Yes. And I believe, like, I'm hoping we will have these recordings on the podcast as well, or maybe part of and I'm calling them talks. They are technically workshops. You will be doing some work in these 4 workshops on February 22nd. So if you do listen to these episodes on the podcast later, make sure to have your pen and your notebook because we'll be doing work.
There you go.
All right. Well, that was really fantastic, Noreen. Thanks again for hopping on today and sharing more of your wisdom and for, again, coming to the Fempreneurs Retreat in Mexico and making it even better and gifting us with those sessions because mine is still just like reverberating through my being, which is amazing. And knowing Surya is just life-changing. He's amazing. And what do you want to leave Fempreneurs with before we hop off?
Hopefully not a cough. Sorry. I have a cold and I've been suppressing a cough.
Cough away.
Just that I really want to say that you're worth it. It may seem scary to go inwards and look at some of this stuff and to really say you're going to focus on it, but the benefits of looking inwards, focusing on your business health, your energetic health, the benefits, I just can't even say how incredible it is. So yeah.
I second that. I second that. All right, you can connect with Noreen on Instagram at Organize My Space Calgary, and her website is organizemyspacecalgary.com. You can connect with me and find all things YYC Fempreneurs at yycfempreneurs.com.
Awesome.
All right. Bye for now,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.